Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. It's so wonderful to be with all of you here in the sanctuary this evening. And Andre, wonderful to have you on the bima with us this evening as well. We're going to begin our Shabbat evening worship with Yedid Nefesh, and you can find that on page 10 in the red Sidur Lev Shalem.
Yedid Nefesh Avarachaman Meshoch Avdach El Retzonach Yarut Avdach Kemo Ayal Yishtachave Mul Hadarach Ki yerev lo yedidu tak mino fetzuf vechol tam hadur nae ziv haolam nafshi cholat avatach Ana el narefanala beharola noam zivach az titchazech vehitrape vechaitalach shivchat olam V'tihyehemu rachamecha v'husna benu evak ki ze kama niksof liro b'tiferet uzach Ana Eli Mahmad Libi Husana Ve'al Titalam Higalena Ufros Havivi Alai Etzukat Shelomach Ta'ir Eretz mikvodach Nagila v'nismecha bach Macher ahov kiva moed V'chaneni ki me'olam Yana nine 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 nine, yana nine 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 nine, yana nine 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 nine, yana nine 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 nine, yana nine 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 nine, yana nine nine nine, yana nine nine, yana nine nine nine, yana nine 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 nine, yana nine 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 nine, yana nine 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 nine.
And we turn to page 11, Lechuner Anana.
Lechuner anena ladonai Naria letzur yishenu Nechad mafanav betodah Bizmirod naria lo Ki el gadol Adonai Umelech gadol akol Elohim Asher beato mechere haaretz V'toafotarim lo. Arba'im shana kut bedor v'amar am to'e levavchem v'hem lo yedu drachai asher nishbati v'afi im yavun al minuchati.
Shir Chadash.
Shir l'Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shir l'Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Basru miyom liyom liyeshuato.
Sabri v'goyim giving Page 14.
Yismech ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ירום הים ומלואו, יעלו שדי וכל אשר בו, אז ירננו כל עצי יער, לפני אדוני כי איבה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל וצדק, ועמים באמונתו.
Page 15.
הארץ, ישמחו עם רבים.
Page 16.
ואננה שנהורה שמרשפו נפשו תסדה מיד יצילם אור תרו לצדיק אשר אלף שמחה שמחו צדיקים באדוני הודו לזכר קודשו.
Page 17.
שיר לאדוני שיר חדש כנפות עשה שיר לו ימנו עזרו קודשו.
Page 18.
לפני אדוני כי איבה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל וצדק, וימים במישרים.
אדוני מלך הגזעמים יושב יומים, תנות הארץ, אדוני בציון גדול, ורמו על כל העמים. ידעו שמך
רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו.
כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו.
רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. מזמור לדוד, הבו לאדוני בני אלים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש, כל אדוני על המים, אל הכבוד הרים, אדוני על מים רבים. כל אדוני בכוח, כל אדוני בהדר, כל אדוני שובר ארזים, וישבר אדוני את ארזי הלבנון, וירקידם כמו עגל לבנון, וסיריון כמו ון רימים. כל אדוני הוצב לבותש, כל אדוני יחיל מדבר, יחיל אדוני מדבר קודש, כל אדוני יכול אילון, ויחשוף יערות ובכלו כולו מר כבוד. אדוני למבול ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם, אדוני יוס לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום.
Page 22. Page 23.
All right, Lechadodi. I like to shake it all off, right? My favorite too.
That's where Taylor Swift got it from. Right? Shake off the dust.
Lechadodi, lichat kala, yananai, yananai, yananai,
Pnei Shabbat nekabelo.
Lechadodi, lichat kala,
Yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabelo.
Shamor
V'zachor v'dibur echad Hishmi'anu el ha-meyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shemo tiferet v'litila lecha dodi likrat kalai elalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabelo lecha dodi likrat kalai elalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabelo Shabbat lechu v'nelcha Ki hi mekor ha-beracha Merosh mikedem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat chila Lecha dodi likrat kalai Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai B'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kalai Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai B'nei Shabbat nekabela
We skip to, right? Page, or we keep going.
Whatever you like. Let's keep going.
Let's keep going. Mikdash melech
Imelucha kumitzei mitoch hafecha Rav lach shevet beyemek habacha Vehu yachamol alayichem la Lecha dodi likrat kalai Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai B'nei Shabbat nekabelo Lecha dodi likrat kalai Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai B'nei Shabbat nekabelo Ari me'afar kumi Livshi bigdei tifartech ami Al yad ben Yishai beit halachmi Korva el nafshi ge'Allah Lecha dodi likrat kalai Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai B'nei Shabbat nekabelo Lecha dodi likrat kalai Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai B'nei Shabbat nekabelo Hitoreri, hitoreri Kiva orech kumi ori Uri, Uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai, alayich nigala.
Lecha dodi likrat kalai
Yalalai, 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 p'nei Shabbat, nekabelo. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 p'nei Shabbat, nekabelo.
Page 25. Yaminu shmo
Tifrotzi ve'et Adonai ta'aritzi al yad ben ish ben barzi v'nismecha v'nagila lecha dodi likrat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabelo
Lecha dodi likrat kalai yadadai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabelo.
And we rise and turn towards the door, and we take just a moment to let go of all the anguish and stress, all the anxieties and pains of the week that's passed, and step into this holy and eternal moment, this awesome blessing that is Shabbat, this time of peace and understanding. And we step in and let go of, shake off all that dust, and enter into this sacred time that God blesses us with. Bo'iva shalom. Come in peace, O Shabbat.
Bo'iva shalom.
Ateret ba'ala, gam besimcha, uvtso hola, toch emunei am segula, bo'i kala, lecha dodi likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 p'nei Shabbat, nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 p'nei Shabbat, nekabela. And we are seated. Mark, at this time we turn to you and we offer you these words of comfort during your week of Shiva. Hamakom yenachem etchem betoch shar Or Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May God comfort you among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. We continue now with the Psalm for Shabbat, page 27.
Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat Tov ladod ladonai. Ulzamer leshimcha elyon. Ulzamer leshimcha elyon.
להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות עלי עשור ועלי נבל עלי היגיון בחינום.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת. טוב לדוד לאדוני. ולזמר לשמך עליון. ולזמר לשמך עליון.
כי שמחתני אדוני בפעלך במעשה ידיך ארנן מגן ומעשיך אדוני מיועדם כל מחשבותיך. ולא הבלעת בו
צדיקת המר יפרח כארז בלבנון יזכה שתולים בבית אדוני בהזרות אלוהינו יפריחו עוד ינובון בסבע
דשנים ורעננים יהיו להגיד כי אשר אדוני צורי ולא הבלעת בו. 29.
נחלות מים רבים אדירים נשברי ים אדיר במרום אדוני עדותיך נאמנו מאוד לבתיך נאבק קדוש אדוני לאורך ימים.
Mourners and those observing a yurtzeit rise at this time for Kaddish, found on page 30. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbi.
Amen.
Ve'alama divara kerute ve'yamelich malchute v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'v'zaman kari ve'imeru amen. Yehe shemei Rabba mevorach le'olam u'lomei olmaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpawar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh Vitadar, Vitalev, Yitalal, Shmei de Kudsha, Barichu, Le'ela, Minkol, Berchata, Beshirata, Tush Bechata, Benechamata, Da'amiran Be'alama, Ve'imeru, Amen. Yehe, Shalama, Rabba, Min Shamaya, V'chayim Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imeru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, B'imromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al kol Yoshevei Tevel ve'imeru. Amen. You may be seated. Yasher Koach to Andre Ivory for leading us in Kabbalat Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So wonderful to be with all of you this evening, and also with those of you joining us online, including Leslie, Charlie, Kim, Dave, Linda, Bill, Kelly, and so many others. Know that your presence is felt with us here in the sanctuary. A number of you know that I'm heading to Israel very soon, leaving tomorrow night. Some of you are joining with me. Very excited for that. And in fact, just before this service, I was blessed to lead with Andre and Cantor Rubinstein our service for the littles, our preschoolers, and others that are quite young in our community. We do a fun get into the Shabbat spirit thing. And I shared a story with them that I want to share with you as well, which is a story about Israel and about the origin of the Israeli flag that's hanging right there. And in fact, it was in 1897 that Theodor Herzl had convened in Basel, Switzerland, the first Zionist Congress. And there were leaders of the Zionist world at that time, which was a nascent movement. So much so that in his diaries he said, "In Basel, I established the Jewish state." And of course, famously wrote, "Today nobody believes me. In 50 years, everyone will believe." And 51 years after the Basel Conference, the state of Israel was established 75 years ago, a week and a half from now. And I'm so looking forward to being in the land of Israel as we celebrate Israel's 75th birthday. And so there were all these people were arriving for the conference already. Herzl was busy with all kinds of things. And one of his deputies, a man named David Wolfson, he assigned an important task, which was to design a flag, to demonstrate, to bring a flag, to have a flag that would be the symbol of this movement, the flag that would eventually be the flag of the Jewish state. That flag. But that flag hadn't been developed yet. It was invented by this person, and here's how it happened. He writes, and we have from his diaries and from stories about it, that he was feeling so much weight, so much pressure from the responsibility of being able to represent what does it mean, the dream of the Jewish people for 2,000 years to have sovereignty in their land, to be able to celebrate the people of Israel in the land of Israel as the state of Israel. And he walked up and down the streets of Basel wondering where inspiration would strike. And he looked in the marketplace, and he went and he ate, and he saw people in cafes, and looked at the architecture. He looked at other flags of other nations. Nothing. Nothing. And he decides to turn to God. And he walks into a synagogue, and he looks downtrodden, and the rabbi's there and walks over and asks, what's going on? And I told the kids earlier that this teaches you that if you're ever feeling down, you can always come to the synagogue, and there's always someone here to talk to you and to listen. And then I continued that, so David Wolfson, he's in the synagogue, and he explains to the rabbi the task that is on him and the anxiety and and he says, we don't have any flags here. But he says, but we do have this. And he pulls the tallis. This is the tallis that I usually wear here on Shabbat. You'll notice the colors look somewhat familiar. And in fact, that was the inspiration for the colors of the talit, of the flag, the degel of the state of Israel, the banner. The tzitzit traditionally are that blue and white color. The talises often have stripes, just as the flag of Israel does. And in fact, that very first flag of Israel was a tallis with two stripes, one on each end, that David Wolfson removed the tzitzit. So no one would think, because if you put with tzitzit, people will be offended, right? You put it on a flagpole, you're desecrating this religious object. And he drew with his blue felt tip pen a star of David in the middle of that talit, which had been the symbol of the Jewish people for so many years. And he said, this is our flag. And how appropriate that it is, because what do we do when we gather our tzitzit? We gather our tzitzit before the Shema every morning service as we say the words, V'haviyenu leshalom me'arba kanfot haaretz, and God will gather us from the four corners of the world. Kumimul Eretzenu, and God will bring us upright to our land. That's the words that we say, that Jews have said for thousands of years, wrapping themselves in a talit. And indeed, the flag of Israel is the answer to that prayer. Right? For thousands of years, we gathered our tzitzit and we said, God will enable us to be able to be together, to be able to have sovereignty in the land that God promised our ancestors, that we will be able to make lives of meaning and purpose in that place. And today we are blessed to live miraculously in that time. I know some of you read the emails that I send out every week, and I mentioned this in my email this morning, that I realized that I've now been alive for more than half of the time that the state of Israel has existed. And I know that most of you looking at me think I'm young, which just says the state of Israel is really young, right? As a country, that we are the luckiest generation of Jews easily in the history of the world, because we're blessed to be able to have the technology and the sovereignty and all the different blessings of this time to be able to travel and experience and dwell and walk on the land of our holy land, to be in the state of Israel. And I'm so excited that tomorrow night I'm heading on an airplane, and a number of hours later I will head off an airplane, and it won't be anywhere near the month's boat journey that it used to be. In fact, one of my dear friends spent a year in Israel before college, and shared with me that at that time the only way to go was by boat. There wasn't yet flights regularly to Israel, and that it was a month journey each way to come from this country to be able to be in Israel. Now, I'll be back from Israel in less time than that. And we are just so incredibly lucky, and we take it for granted. But I want you to know, if you haven't yet taken the opportunity to be in our land and to breathe that air and to experience the holiness and awesome majesty of that place, make the effort. We should all experience that blessing in our lifetimes. And I'm so delighted that a number of congregants from our community who have never been to the land of Israel before will be joining me there in just a few short days. And I'm excited to share my love of the land with them and with you. I'm excited for them to experience the awesomeness of this holy place. Wishing you all Shabbat Shalom, and that we should all appreciate the blessings of this times, even with the many challenges that our Holy Land faces. We're going to turn now, as we turn to God in prayer, to the Baruch Hu, which you can find on page 39. Please rise for the call to prayer. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. We are seated. Baruch Adonai. Umavir yom umevi laila umavdil ben yom uben laila Adonai tzavot shemo el chai v'gayam tamid imloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aharavim. Avad, page 40. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu v'hem negei yomam v'layla ve'avadacha al tasir menu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchut Le'olam Bo'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi betzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinandam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha v'veitecha v'lechtecha ha'vaderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha uksartam le'ot al yadecha v'ayil etotafot bein einecha uchtavtom al mezuzot beitecha uv'yisha'arecha. 42. Vaya im shemo et ishma. Adonai Elohechem Emet V'emunah kol zev kamleinu ki hu Adonai Eloheinu ve'en tzol zabanach. 43. 44. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ונעשה לכנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא תהילות אוסף מלכותך ראו בניך בוקם לפני משה זה אלי אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מן החזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Page 45. Hashkivenu Adonai. Ushamor tzeiteinu v'oinu chayim shalom etaver olam ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha baruch ata Adonai hapores sukat shalom aleinu v'kol mo'Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. We rise now as we turn to page 46. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשו אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבו וילמד יברכתי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבא מברך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתברך ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילא מכל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו Amen. Our Friday night Amidah begins on page 47. It's recited in silent standing devotion. It's an opportunity for us to offer the prayers our sages put on the page, but also those meditations that fill our hearts at this time. Adonai Savatai Tiftach Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. We'll now offer a special prayer of healing for all those who are ill. Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor HaBeracho Lehimoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who brought healing to Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those for whom we now pray, including Rachel Bat Froma, Ellen Etzel, Barbara Mark Dreyfus, Jody Chessman, Nissan Ben Fredel, Reuven Ben Chayariva, Zadel Bat Yetta, Celia Schreiber, Neil Farber, Yeshaya Leib Ben Pesha, Ellen Bresnik, Feivel Hendel Ben Belka, Caleb Taylor Gottman, Michael Donahue, Kevin Burns, Chaim Ben Esther, Masha Miriam Bat Shafsel, Easton Humphreys, Lawrence Cohen, Batya Esther Bat Ephraim, Reuven Ben Root, Yoshua Ben Sarah, Leon Levine, Chaya Bat Batya, Sario Chevet Bat Bracha, Chaya Lea Pesia Bat Fredadora, Eileen Zemel, Malka Bat Hadassah, Carol Bat Zipora, Shoshana Sharon Bat Chana, Shmuel Velvel Ben Devora, Chaya Bas Devora, Bluma Binder, Bob Sutz, David Ben Elisha, Ari Kenny, Yitzchak Ben Gittel, Therese Lank, Leor Yisrael Ben Rachel, Pat Zalotnik, John Granick, Aviva Chana Bat Tova Tikva, Marty Cohen, Leib Aharon Ben Ada, Fagel Bracha Bat Michal, David Ben Leah, Mayor David Ben Brindle, Rivka Shendel Bat Chana, Shalom Ben Petzel, Chaim Michael Ben Yocheved, Eliyahu David Ben Yerid Chana, Shira Bat Chaya, Anna Boardman, Chaya Bat Rella, Rafal Chaim Ben Sylvia, Perla Bat Esther, Barak Ben Bracha, and all others who we hold in our hearts at this time. May the Holy and restore them to fullness of health, of body, of mind, of spirit, blessing them and those dedicated to their care, and all others on the journey towards healing and recovery. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBeracho Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Refuah Shlema. We rise now as we turn to Aleinu, page 56. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol latet gedula leotzeher bereshit shalo asanu kegoy ha'aratzot velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama shalo sam chalkeinu kahem vegor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. We are seated. We turn now to the counting of the Omer, which you can find on page 63. As a reminder, we counted last night. What did we count? It was the 8th day of the Omer last night, so today is going to be that plus 1. All right? I'm about to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. As it is written in the Torah, you shall count from the eve of the second day of Pesach, when an omer of grain is to be brought as an offering, 7 complete weeks. The day after the 7th week of your counting will make 50 days. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, al sefirat haomer. Hayom tisha yamim, shehem shavua achad, u'shnei yamim la'omer. Today is 9 days, being 1 week, and 2 days of the Omer. We recognize this week the yurtzites of Joe Barenbaum, Michael Barenbaum's father, of Ralph Goodman, Murray Goodman's father, of Roz Goodell, David Goodell's mother, of Bill Feist, Lynn Barenbaum's brother, David Weingast, Jeremy Weingast's father, Edward Phillips, Sherry Konefsky's brother, Eva Maltosh, Barry, your mom, Dorothy Glazer, Jerome Glazer's mother, and Sarah Bernstein's grandmother, Melvin Niddon, Jerome Glazer's father-in-law, and Sarah Bernstein's grandfather, Sarah Rochelle Ward, Paul Ward's mother, Bonnie Rapport, Beth Hoffman's mother, David Smith, Heather, your father, Roz Ansel, Marvin Ansel's sister-in-law, Ruth Krasnow, Renee Feinberg's mother, and Julie Seifert, Linda Weiss, and Michael Feinberg's grandmother, Morton Peatluck, Jill Feinstein's father, Albert Young, Rob, your father, James Morrison, Joan Sheff's father, Sarah Kaufman, Herb, your mother, Wallace Rosenthal, Jamie Rosenthal's father, and Ruth Barnett, J.B. Barnett's mother. We pray to Hein Nishmatam Surot B'tzura Chayim, that the souls of all of our loved ones past be bound in the bond of life eternal. Invite mourners and those observing a yurtzeit to rise at this time in body or spirit and join with me in the words of Kaddish on page 58. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, be'alama tivara kerutei, ve'yamalich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agalah u'v'zamanin kari ve'imeru, amen. Yehei shemei Rabba mevorach, le'alam ul'olmei ul'maya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yitpawar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekutsha barich hu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechmata da'amiran be'alama v'imeru. Amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imer omav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol Yoshevei Tevel ve'imeru. Amen. We are seated. It's my pleasure now to invite Rob Young from our board to share this evening's announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Andre, for your help this evening with services. Thank you, Pam Carson, as always, for your technical services. The Phoenix Holocaust Association's Yom HaShoah commemoration will be held at Congregation Beth Israel tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Or Tzion Men's Club will also hold a Yom HaShoah commemoration here on Monday, April 17th at 6 o'clock in the synagogue, and there'll be a short film following. The next adult education class, which I just found out has a whole bunch of people in it, is going to be Yada Yada, the Judaism of Seinfeld, taught by Andre Ivory. There's still time to sign up. The first class is this coming Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., and there's a $25 charge for registration. Hooked on Books is getting together on April 23rd. You can find that information in the bulletin, along with many, many other things going on at the congregation. I hope you'll check it out. And Rabbi, I wish you and your family and everybody that's going a Nesiya Tova. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Rob. We rise now for Kiddush. You can follow along on page 55. Archer, want to complete us? Okay, then I will do it. Savri, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagofen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher הקדישנו מצוותיו ולצוונו, בשבת קודשו בימיו רצון, הנחיל לנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך, בימיו רצון הנחלתנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Adonai Oz Lamo Yiten, Adonai V'rachem Ov Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thanks for being here with us, and thank you to those of you joining us online. Hey, Barbara and Steve, great to have you.